may the words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts be now and always acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. Paris. In the autumn of 1792, the new republic is in the grip of the terror and the dreaded guillotine. In Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities, two characters, Charles Darnay and Sidney Carton, both love the same young woman, but she marries Charles. This is the French Revolution, and Charles Darnay is arrested and in prison awaits execution. On the night before he's about to die, Sidney Carton, who looks quite a bit like Charles Darnay, steals into prison and says, "Look, Charles, you have a wife and child. Let's switch places, change clothes. I'll die in your place." Charles Darnay says, "No way. I'll never let you do such a thing." What does Sidney do? You might know the story. He knocks him out cold and puts his clothes on. And assumes his place in prison, waiting to be executed. Sidney's peace passes to Charles. Charles's punishment passes to Sidney. But it doesn't end there. All through the Old Testament, there have been prophecies about the Messiah, a figure who will bring God's peace back to the world, bring God's justice. From mention of Melchizedek in Genesis, this mysterious priest prince is promised to return. Then here, in the middle of Isaiah's prophecy, appears one known as the servant of the Lord. But in chapter 53, the most appalling thing happens. The servant of the Lord, who is to bring an end to violence, is himself the victim of violence. It pleased the Lord to bruise him. He hath put him to grief when thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin. Surely not. The Bible talks a lot about offerings, sacrifices in the temple. When somebody was guilty, an animal was slain and offered up, and that took away the guilt. But here is the sacrifice in the form of this priest prince himself. We've read, "So shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities." And in Hebrews, he became the author of eternal salvation unto all who obey him. Why are these passages today so aligned and so important? I think because we need reminding. God is very gracious to us. And he needs to remind us that the gospel is not moral conformity or self-discovery. It's something else. We need reminding of what that is. Because moralistic people have a God who is holy and demanding, and the way to have a relationship with that God is to try very, very hard. But a relationship with God that way doesn't move me, doesn't galvanize me or electrify me or change me from the inside out. Of course I know God. I work very hard. And then there's people, many Londoners, who think that God accepts anyone, no matter what. A relationship with God that way, well, that doesn't galvanize me. It doesn't move me. It doesn't electrify. It doesn't change me from the inside out. Of course, he just loves everybody. But God is so holy that he couldn't shrug evil off. And he's so loving that he couldn't just punish us for it. Instead, God himself laid down his own life to forgive us and receive us. Why is God so keen in the Bible on losers, on eunuchs, on barren women? Why Sarah over Hagar? Why David over the big strapping brothers. Why does he always do that? Christ wins our salvation by losing. He achieves power through weakness, service. He comes to wealth by giving everything away. Those who receive his salvation are not the strong and the accomplished who have worked for it and won it, but those who admit that they are weak and lost. Salvation, because it is achieved by weakness and received by weakness, offers a complete reversal of the values of this world with regard to power and recognition and status and wealth. So the gospel creates a people with an inverted set of values, a whole alternate way of being human. But so shall it not be among you. But whosoever will be great among you shall be your minister, and whoever so of you will be the chiefest shall be the servant of all. For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many. Back on the eve of execution, there's a petite young woman, a seamstress, who is also in the prison, about to be executed. She'd known Charles Darnay previously, and when she hears that he is in there, she seeks him out and comes up and starts talking and reminiscing. But of course, it's not Charles, it's Sidney. So he's looking away and hoping that she doesn't look too closely, but suddenly she does. She realizes it's not Charles, and her eyes get big. She says, "Are you dying for him?" "Shh. Yes, and for his wife and children." She says, "Stranger, I have been feeling I'm not going to be able to face my death, but may I hold your hand on the tumbril in the morning? If someone as brave and as loving as you holds my hand, I think I'll be all right." His sacrifice strengthened her to her core. How much more will the loving sacrifice of Jesus strengthen you and me? As we receive the sacrament this morning, invite him to have his way with you in your body, in your heart, as well as your mind, to imbibe the holiness and the love of God. When we realize, when we eat in what it cost him, grace, not to be worked for, but a gift for you, it changes your life. From that comes the motive and the method. From that, we are moved, galvanized, so that we, his body, may serve to bring about, bit by bit, the city that God is building. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Ghost, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen.